Hey brewers, it's Paul here, and today we are brewing a no-boil, no-chill pale ale, American pale ale style beer. I've done this once before just to test it out, and the beer came out surprisingly good. So the idea behind this is I'm gonna set the temperature on here to 175. While that is heating up, I will be steeping some specialty grains consisting of half a pound of Crystal 40, quarter pound of biscuit malt, quarter pound of carapils. There's no base malt in here. We don't have to worry about conversion or mashing. We just want to get some of the flavor and color out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Set the temperature to 175. Turn on the element. Turn on the pump. Don't need it going full bore here. And I'm just going to use like a muslin bag to steep the grains with. I mean, in theory, it's a Brewzilla. I could use the big grain basket, but that seems a bit excessive for a pound of malt. Okay. All right, I somehow managed to do that without spilling it all over the place. And I'm just going to give that a quick stir. Make sure we got good contact with the grain and the water there. You can see, like, after 30 seconds how much the water has changed color. I guess now it's technically wort. Okay. I'll just tie this to the handle of the Brewzilla. And so yeah, it's just gonna steep while the temperature is rising on here. I set it to 175. I'm gonna pull these out once it hits about like 160, 165, somewhere around there. And then I'm gonna stir in 5 pounds of dry malt extract. This is gonna be about a 4-gallon batch. The part of the no-chill thing is you either need like those cubes like they use in Australia, where you put the hot wort in and then just let it sit overnight. I don't have one of those, but what I do have is an empty ball lock corny keg. So the idea is I can put the hot wort right into here, clamp the lid on, put on my spunding valve, let it sit overnight, and then pitch my yeast tomorrow. I just think it's kind of neat if you can make a beer that tastes pretty good with not a lot of effort when you're in a pinch. Like right now, all the taps on my house are empty, and I could say pitch this with Keggings yeasts, and you know, my brew days give or take an hour, and it can ferment out in 4 or 5 days. So yeah, that's the idea. I'm also gonna Whirlpool at 175, 2 ounces Centennial, 2 ounces Cascade, and 1 ounce of Columbus for 20 minutes. That should be enough time to sterilize everything. And also we're gonna hit about 32 IBU. That's usually where I like to be on a 5% beer, like original gravity of 1050 for a pale ale. And that's pretty much it. So we'll let this heat up and we'll be right back. I want this. And a couple of Cascade and a Columbus. And I need more DME, but I'm gonna have to go talk to Noah and see where he put it. Okay, so we're right around that 1065, sorry, 1065. I was thinking original gravity. We're at about that 165 Fahrenheit mark, so I'm gonna pull out my steeping grains and just let most of the liquid fall out. You don't need all of it. Get this out of here. All right, so I'm gonna target 175 just like before. I'm gonna stir in 5 pounds of dry malt extract. And you could totally just do this with a mixing spoon or something, but I have the Grainfather, wort aerator, so I'm gonna use that. This stuff is messy and sticky, so use caution, but it is better than liquid malt extract in my opinion. I find it tastes better, and color-wise, your beer will be a little bit lighter if you use dry instead of liquid. Okay, that was 4 pounds. This will make it 5 pounds. And I think I said this was a 4 US gallon batch. It's actually 4.5, so that's about 17 liters. So 5 pounds of dry malt extract should get us somewhere around 1050 or so for original gravity. All right, that looks pretty good. Then once we get to 175, I'll put in my Whirlpool hops. We'll let them Whirlpool for about 20 minutes or so. So we'll be back then. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content. Okay, so we're right around that 175 Fahrenheit. I do not know what that is in Celsius off the top of my head, sorry. I think it's because all the brewing books are from the US, so everything's, you know, Fahrenheit. So that's just ingrained in me. All right, so we're right around 175. I'm gonna put in our hops, which again was 2 ounces of Centennial, 2 ounces of Cascade, and 1 ounce of Columbus. I kind of wanted to go for that classic, you know, American Pale Ale kind of hop profile. And once they're stirred in, we're gonna let them sit for 20 minutes. This will get everything pasteurized, and will also get us about 30 IBU. I think I mentioned that before, but that's kind of where I like to be on most American Pale Ales. I know some people like it more bitter, but I find that's a nice balance. So give that a stir. We're still at around 175. I'm also going to let the pump run. This way the pump and the tubing will also get sterilized at that temperature. That's pretty much it. We'll let her go for about 20 minutes. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. I'm gonna turn off the heat. I have my keg that's been cleaned and sanitized. I have my spunding valve. This is like one of the older styles. Maybe they still make them, I don't know. It's kind of janky and I like the new ones a lot better. But either way, I have it dialed into 15 PSI, which is what I want. I'm gonna depressurize this. You know what? I didn't put in a Whirlpool tablet or yeast nutrient, so I'm actually gonna do that now. Let it sit for 5 minutes and then transfer. I just like the Whirlpool. It's gonna help us naturally clarify the beer, and yeast nutrient's never a bad thing. So I'll go grab some of those and pop them in there. So half a Whirlpool tablet and about a half a teaspoon of nutrient. Give or take, I don't know. That seems to be at least half a teaspoon. I'm actually not gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. I wanted some contact time at a higher temperature, but honestly, this is gonna take a long time to cool down, so if there's any potential bacteria on there, should be taken care of by sitting at a high temperature in the keg. So get that transferred over, turn off the pump. I just realized that this is a really short piece of tubing. Oh, we should be good. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to do this into a plastic fermenter, just in case some of you had that crazy idea. Stainless or the specialty plastic that can take the high temperature for sure, like the chill cubes, whatever they're called. So let's open up the ball valve and start our transfer. One downside to this method of brewing, there's no chilling, there's no cold break. So perhaps the beer will be a bit hazy, but honestly, the last time I made this, I transferred out of this keg and into another one with some biofine, and after a couple days, it was pretty much crystal clear. So we'll just let that transfer, and we'll be right back. All right, so we got the wort transferred over. Gonna put on my lid. And then we're just gonna let this sit, you know, overnight. It should chill down to room temperature. Then we'll pitch our yeast and ferment under pressure. transfer it to a serving keg, and hopefully enjoy some good beer. So as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I try to answer every single one. One thing I can't remember if I mentioned, the reason why I chose 175 Fahrenheit for the pasteurization is that in theory, you should not get SMM, which is a precursor to DMS, if you stay under 180 Fahrenheit. So that's why I chose that temperature. As always, please give a thumbs up on this video and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Cheers.
2 weeks later.
All right, so it's been 3-4 weeks since we did our no boil, no chill pale ale. So we're gonna taste it now. Just to remind myself again, this was it was not 4 pounds of carapils.
That is, no.
It was 4 ounces of carapils, 8 ounce of Crystal 60, 4 ounce of biscuit, and then just some Breeze Pilsen DME, and then 2 ounce of each Cascade Centennial and 1 of Columbus that I whirlpooled.
Nice.
And then I dry hopped with more Cascade and Centennial. And I fermented this in a keg.
Okay.
And I chucked 4 ounces of hops into a keg with nothing. Don't do that, folks. Oh, it was a disaster. When I was trying to do a keg transfer into the serving keg, the poppets kept getting...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was a nightmare. I could have tried to use a
chunks.
filter, but next time I'm just muzzin back.
No.
Muzzin
Yeah.
back. That was terrible, and there's still hop chunks in here. It's been at my house for a week and a half in a kegerator. I hit it with Biofine twice.
Twice?
Because I thought, well, maybe I didn't put enough the first time.
Yeah.
And no, it's just there's a lot of hop chunks in here. So just whatever, don't do that.
Nothing wrong with a couple hop chunks.
Yeah, exactly. And I just packaged this like an hour ago, so it's still nice and fresh.
Sweet. And this is Lutra, right?
Is
that what it
yes,
says?
I did
Yeah.
do with Lutra. Sorry, I did do this with Lutra.
Okay.
Because I don't use that yeast very much. I know it's popular, so I just wanted to see how it turn out. Look at this nice glass. I wonder where you could
Look at
buy
that.
something like that.
I wonder.
Granitglass.ca, check it out. All right.
I think you might only have a few of these left too. In
It's
this
okay.
style.
We're always changing. We're always looking for the new cool stuff.
Yeah.
See, these are no longer good, or we no longer sell. They're still a good glass. Okay.
Oh.
I get obviously the crystal malt. I get a little bit of that. I don't want to say funk, but
like-
every time I use like a Kveik yeast, it's got a little je ne sais quoi in the nose that I smell here. But it's
Yeah.
not as bad as usual, to be honest.
Like
Maybe because I did ferment this one under pressure
Maybe, yeah.
and not like super hot. Again, with the Cascade Centennial
Yeah.
hops.
Get a little bit
Get
of
that
that
citrus. Yeah.
vegetal- Yeah. Wow.
It's pretty good.
That's really good.
Considering not only was there no boil here, but I didn't chill it. I just let it sit in a keg
Yeah.
overnight and then chucked in the yeast the next day. It's a little bit more bitter than I would have liked. And I think that's just like 5 ounces of hops sitting pretty hot. Like,
Yeah.
who knows how long they were isomerizing.
That's right.
I would probably go with maybe like 2.5 next time, and then just the dry hop, just to cut down on that bitterness. Because this was a very quick brew day, and this is a pretty darn good beer. I wouldn't
Like-
enter this into a competition, but just to have a nice pale ale on tap, bam.
How, all in all, how long did it take you? Like for the brew day, roughly?
Well, we used extract,
Right.
so I just like steeped the grains a bit. I would say, I don't know, maybe an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
Like all said and done, like starting?
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe an hour 15 with cleanup, but it was super fast. The Lutra Kveik ripped through this in like 3-4 days.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's about it.
Man. Beer in a week, essentially.
Pretty much. You could turn this around even quicker if you wanted to,
Yeah.
but I like giving my beers a bit of time to like settle out in the kegerator.
Especially with that many hops.
That was good. And like for an extract beer, usually I find they finish a little bit like, I want to say not crisp.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is pretty darn good.
That could
Approved.
easily have
Yeah.
a lot more of this.
Yep, this is good.
Yeah.
I might put this on the website. Who knows? We'll see. But that's it. I'd say if you want a nice, easy brew day, The no boil, no chill, definitely possible to make good beer, especially if, I could have used a cleaner yeast, ferment a little bit colder or whatever, but what the hell. This beer was about being fast. It's almost like a 3-4 day pale ale.
Yeah.
Ferment under pressure, transfer it, serve it to your friends and family, be the hero.
Exactly.
Anyway, if you have any questions about this process or this recipe or anything like that, leave them down in the comments below. And do not forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. Cheers.
Cheers.